Hiya Walkwatchers and welcome back to another one of our videos. I hope this finds you well. This is our walk of the county high point for County Waterford, Knockmealdown.
Nice, but too much rhododendron.
Now, one of the first things that I noticed here is lots of rhododendron. I mean, we drove up from the V and all around Baylock and around the start of our walk there's lots of this invasive species.
Yes.
It's naturally found in the Himalayas but has spread across Europe as far as Portugal and Spain, where it was probably introduced into Ireland. But when it gets a hold of a habitat, and it doesn't take long, it completely dominates. If you compare it to a native oak tree, for example, which can support up to 423 species of insect and bug, rhododendron supports 0. Now, bees like it for its blousy flowers, but to the exclusion of our native wildflowers. So the area essentially becomes barren.
So it's invasive, so you see what it's doing. It's just taking over. So the thing would be to remove all, in fact that has all been removed, that's all coming back. That's been burnt out. Straight up.
Yeah.
There's a wee path there.
So we stuck to the sheep paths really to do as little damage as we possibly could to the habitat. As you can see here, we're walking through that rhododendron. There's lots of heather there and lots of mosses, so we didn't really want to damage any of that. Now, the Knockmealdowns are an area for sheep farming, and in fact you can see the sheep over there on the left hand side as the farmer and his 4 dogs bring them in. But it does mean that the heather gives way to short grazed grass, which is much easier to walk on.
An hour ago we were down there. Push on.
So I wanted to show you this because this is another change of habitat from the big clumps of heather now to this rocky mix with shorter heather as you get up on top of the mountain. So there it is, the county high point for County Waterford, Knockmealdown.
That is superb! Oh wow! Oh. It's beautiful. Hiya! Hiya!
Hi Walkwatchers, and you join us at the top of Knockmealdown. In the Knockmealdowns, spread out in front of us is the beautiful Waterford. Over behind us, off the cliff which is over this other side, is co.Tipperary. And we're sitting 794 metres above Waterford.
We aren't.
Sort of.
Something like that.
Sort of. Because we've really only walked 500 and something.
Yeah,
500
just over
something.
500.
Yeah, on our way. So, what do you think of the walk there, Matthew?
Steep in bits. I think the worst of it is the looking, and there's these wee knees, so it sort of goes up and it goes flat and then it goes up and flat. So you're kind of going, it's there, it's somewhere around there. You get up and you go, there's a wee bit more to go. And it does that, what, twice, three times at least. So it's just that mental bit of going, but you still go and keep going, keep going. Yeah, the flat bits are nice. It's those steep bits, you're kind of going.
And it's very heathery. I mean, down in the lower parts, it's like really big clumps of heather. But as you get up, it's shorter heather, which isn't so bad.
It's nicer to walk in the shorter bits. which is quite
Yeah,
nice.
because I mean, what we did was we followed the sheep trails the whole way up,
Exactly, yeah.
and some of the areas are rocky, like bouldery. And you wouldn't be walking on those, like they're quite slippy, and I mean it's like this. It's just loose stone and loose rock, so it's a bit dangerous. Not dangerous, but you just wouldn't walk on it.
And if you were in footwear that's maybe a wee bit more worn out, your foot's just going to go.
Quite slidey, isn't it?
Because I did, like I'm in trainers, and there was a couple of times I maybe hit what I thought was a solid bit, and your foot kind of goes.
Let's be honest, the trainers aren't a good idea.
No,
when you're
I
walking.
wouldn't advise. No.
This range of mountains, the Knockmealdown, are fantastic because again the biodiversity angle. I mean, this is a super spot. As we've said, I mean most of it is sort of heather and peat, and so therefore you're getting lots of great insects. We've spotted some really interesting stuff. There's been a whole lot of butterflies too, scooting about. And I was telling Matthew there, I mean it's an interesting place for bird life as well. Everything from nightjars to grasshopper warblers and cuckoo and crossbill, and even excitedly, it's a great spot for red grouse and breeding of red grouse, and which I find deeply exciting, hen harriers. So the Knockmealdowns are an exciting spot for biodiversity. If you're coming down here and you're a twitcher or a bird watcher, then this is the place to come. We've had a lovely day. We're now not going to stop here. We're going to walk across the Sugarloaf and then down that way as well. So here come the stats, and then we're going to walk that way so you can follow us that direction.
So as with all of our videos, these stats are just a bit of a guide to show you what we were able to achieve this day. Now, Knockmealdown sits in the Knockmealdown Mountains at a height of 794 metres. It is the 7th out of 26 county high points, and it took us about an hour and 20 minutes to get to the top. It took us a total of 4 hours to do the complete loop here, 18,000 steps or 9.1 kilometres at an average pace of 16.3 minutes per kilometre. It was lovely and sunny, it was 16 degrees. Matthew Walsh was my walk watcher, and we parked at Hans Highway Foam. If you want to park where we parked, in what 3 words? So as you saw there's a lovely long saddle between Knockmealdown and Sugarloaf here. If you just follow the old wall that marked out County Tipperary for County Waterford, keeping Knockmealdown on your right, there's a little steep incline, and then here we are at Sugarloaf. Just look at these views out over the Golden Vale, isn't it beautiful? Out across the Galties as well. The V is just down below us here, and in fact that's Bay Loch there in that bit of a hollow on the side of that mountain there, just beside Knockmealdown. So we followed the county wall all the way down with views over Bay Loch and Knockmealdown there, which is just beautiful. Right down, this is the car park there at the stone shelter, with the road to the right taking you down to the V. It's pretty rocky and pretty slidey here, so need to be careful. Down onto the road then, turning left and following the road all the way back down to where our van is parked. Yeah. Hello. And that's us back to the van. So let's have a look at the route. We started at this little car park here at the junction between R668 and R669 and headed almost straight up Knockmealdown to the point. There it is, County High Point. And then across the saddle, across to Sugarloaf. Just look at that profile as it goes up over Sugarloaf. And there's down to the car park, all the way down to the stone shelter, following the road back to the car park. We then drove to Cashel to Bailey's Hotel, Cellar Bar and Restaurant, and we had some amazing food and life was very good. But if you enjoyed our video, maybe you give us a like and even subscribe to the channel, switch on your notifications to keep up to date with all of our walks. But this has been the Walkwatchers walk of Knockmealdown in County Waterford. Why don't you get your boots on, go outside and go exploring, and I'll see you again next time.